Hi, my name is Martin Lowell from Mzuri. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about the drill and what we're doing. It's the 1st of October 2013. We're putting winter wheat into actually what was spring wheat stubbles. We combined this field just over a month ago, and all the surface residue is what's come out the combine. We probably haven't done the best job with combining here. We've got almost too much here. That's down to chopper. I tend to just leave it. The drill will sort all that out. So really I like to just let the field settle. It's great for wildlife. We noticed when we came to this field how many sparrows are feeding on it. But yeah, going back to the drill. Really it's a trail drill. We are mounting the drill onto the drawbar of the tractor. This gives us great turning on the headlands. It also gives us stability in controlling the level of the actual chassis of the drill, so we can keep the main frame parallel to the ground all the time. The weight of the drill is always spread on the axle, so this is a 9-till strip-till drill, so we're going to have 9 wheels. This spreads the weight evenly across each of the till because we're using the wheels to reconsolidate the tilled area and carry the weight evenly. So yeah, getting a little bit more detail. First of all, we have the front toolbar. This toolbar is controlled by a height ram. The series of rams here with stops on. They will control the depth of this. The standard machine has auto reset legs. This particular machine has the option of the dual tank where we're applying fertilizer down these tubes into the tilled zone. So what we're trying to achieve with this machine is, to start with, we're going straight into stubbles. You can go into ploughing, you really can go into wherever you want. But if we're going to do the job properly, let's try and go into just clean stubbles. The less we do, the better the job goes. And why less is better is that we conserve the moisture. We have had a bit of rain here and the moisture's in the ground. On a dry year it would be very short of moisture. So at least we're going to go into consistent seed bed. So to start with, the front leg has tilled the zone that we're drilling into. In this particular field the structure's improved. I've been strip tilling this field for nearly 5 years and I don't need to go particularly deep. It makes pulling the drill much easier, saves on more fuel. So this particular front leg it's got a tungsten carbide tiled tip to it. The wing on it is tilling the area. As I said, we only target tilling where we want to put the seed. So we have a band of sort of nursery bed of soil that the seed's going to be in. We've mineralised the soil. The seed will go into clean soil and allow it to get away quickly. So this is the area that we've tilled. You can see there's the fertiliser coming out there. We have the fertiliser in the bottom of the tilled area. So that's going to feed the plants when it gets going. There's all the fertiliser there. The till is then reconsolidated with the 9 wheels across the width of this machine. That consolidates the tilled area. So to the side of the tilled area we have the trash. This is all the surface residue, chemical residue, any residue that is required in the last growing period. That's the one side. We have now a clean till, clean moist friable soil. It's absolutely perfect environment to put seed in. Perfect. The actual drill coulter is the same. Again, we have tungsten carbide tip on it at the front here to protect from wear. It has replaceable wings on the coulter, and the coulter itself is quite a broad band. Although when we put in the seed into 2 bands, there's a little bit extra seed here because obviously we just stopped the drill. But we're putting it in a sort of a 5-inch band of 2 rows of seed to the outside of the band. The depth of this coulter is controlled by the rear packer wheel. The actual pressure on the packer wheel is controlled by this hydraulic ram, and that's quite important. We can put virtually from 0 kilograms sort of pressure down onto it, and we can put a weight of over 200 kilograms pressure onto this wheel. By that we can ensure good soil to seed contact. And I think it's one of the secrets of this machine. The coulter is free to pivot at the front on its mount, so it's always in the centre of the till. It's free to follow all the contours of the ground. Each coulter is totally independent of the next coulter, and this is what gives such even germination. We're going to moist, friable seed bed. The seed's going at the right depth, and it's getting consolidated, so the soil to seed contact is quite superb. Right, a little bit more about, have we achieved what we're trying to do? I've targeted my cultivation. I've cultivated just the field where I'm going to place the seed. The rest of the field as such has been left. It's rich in nutrients and moisture, and that's what's going to feed the plant as it gets established. Over here I've dug a little bit of a pit to try and explain it. So the actual undisturbed field is the majority of the field. We've actually only really tilled, you can see here, we've placed the seed into either side of the tilled area. So always great to try and find seed. We clean the top of it. Here's the row of seed. You can see them just in there, and that's where the seed is being placed. And the same to this side. So we're placing a band of seed, although really it's actually 2 drills of seed, and they've been placed to the either side of the tilled area. The base of the tilled area is where the fertiliser will go. And you can see if we drag this along here, here's the band of fertiliser down the bottom of the tilled area. And that's what's going to feed the plant when it gets going. This part here is, although it may look fully tilled, it isn't, because if we actually clean the soil throw and the surface residue, you can actually see we have a tilled area here, 5 inches or so, the untilled area is 7 inches. So we're not moving this. This is rich in, as I said before, the oxygen, the nutrients and everything the plant wants to get away. Great reserve of moisture. We've got all the sort of the wildlife we've been, you can see all the worms in here. We've got a lovely sort of crumb structure to the ground. This is just dramatically improved in such a short term of keeping cultivators off, keeping compaction from the wheels. You can see wherever we look into the soil, the amount of sort of wormholes and just root structure is just great, and we have now a crumb to it. These plants here have hardly been disturbed, so as I said to you earlier, this is perfect. This is just how I like to see it. Don't be confused that we've moved the whole field, we haven't. This to me is ideal for drilling too. Having said that, if you want, particularly some agronomists like to see it a little bit more level, they would suggest that we roll it. I do roll some of my fields. If I roll them, I tend to favour rolls with paddles. The paddles are great because they will go along this area here and just drag this into the next till. It leaves it very level, so if we were to roll it with the paddles on, I'd expect to see much more surface like that. Again, it may look over-tilled, but very quickly you'll get to see tilled area, untilled. Why this is important is the seed is placed into this clean bed of soil. Here's the seed again, here's the 2 rows, there's 1 row there, the other row of seeds here. This is clean, moist, friable soil. The moisture will ensure quick germination, the reconsolidation of the wheel gets it away. I really just feel that's all we need to do. We're targeting where we're going to we target our cultivation to where we're going to seed. And as I say, this is yeah, very pleased with that. That's what we're dreaming. And it doesn't matter how much straw, well, there's a lump of straw here. It's long, it doesn't matter, because the clearance of the machine, we have a very sort of high beam to the legs and the cultivator, and all this just flows through. It's not an issue at all. Yeah, very pleased with that. Today's the 15th of October. I feel it's a good time to have a look at the results of the drilling that we've done this autumn. This particular field we're in to start with was spring beans. We combined it, drilled it the next day. No cultivation, straight in. I'm very pleased with the results of it. We've not dried out the field, we've not brought up horrible lumps or anything. It's just perfect. And the crop's looking good for it. The actual till itself is looking very good. We can see here that the results of the 2 drills that we talked about earlier in the video, the actual coulter where it's placed the seed, you can just about pick it up. Although the bands are tending to come together, that was the actual tilled area. The seed was put to the side of each of the tilled area. And I think that's something that's really important about the difference of the Mzuri to all the other drills. We do actually have wings on the legs. We are tilling the area and we're placing the seed into that tilled area. And that's the result of it. The risk is if we just run a bar leg that smears a slot into the ground and then a coulter that smears the surface and puts seed on top of untilled area, or there might be a lot of soil flying around and it may germinate, I do question what's going to happen to the roots later on. This is fine. The seed's all at the right depth. We've got plenty of structure to the soil, and there we look at the drilling depth. 25 to 30 mil, plenty of root growth already. All the seeds are at the right depth. It's a lovely friable crumb to the soil. It's got to get away. I've been very impressed this autumn. Doesn't matter whether we've been light fields, heavy fields, wherever we've been, the result's the same, just even germination. And when we bear in mind the saving on fuel, just the wear and tear of the equipment that we could have used to cultivate this field, and really we would have only spent that money to put the seed in the ground. We've achieved the same thing with a fraction of the cost, fraction of the time. As I say, I didn't start to do anything until the 3rd week in September. And that was my cost, just drilling cost. Once the crop was emerging, sometimes we used sort of like a peri-emergence, mainly post-emergence, and later on in the season we've done pre-emergent sprays. We've used Crystal this year, and that's it. Nothing else to it. It was all a very straightforward job, and I'm very pleased with the results. The field is very green all over. The bands are beginning to fill out, and if we look at a slight angle, you wouldn't know what we used to drill the field with. Okay, this is the neighbouring field. This is a lot heavier field. This is a field that we used to really struggle with. If we ploughed it and powered it, we just couldn't grow anything on this particular end of the field. But again, if we take well, I'm sure James already planned it, but a pan of the field, it's even. And the field next door, and the beyond, and the field over there are equally green. And that's what's been exciting me so much about this drill, that we just get such even germination. Yeah, I'm very pleased this field is looking healthy again, not much pressure from weeds so much. This again had Crystal put on, it was almost a peri-emergence, this one. It's just coming through. Probably a little bit naughty, but when it's time to go spraying, whether it's post, pre or peri, tends to have the sprayer. But again, same results. There was quite a lot of trash here. We don't seem to have had any pressure from slugs this year to speak of. Yeah, as you see looking down the rows, you can see there doesn't really look any effect at all. We gave it 3 kilograms of slug bait 3 or 4 days after drilling, and it's fine. But again, we rolled this field, but the actual bit in the middle is it's wonderful. The amount of worms there, but even so, although it looks, it's a wonderful crumb to it because we haven't been over, and there's a lot of fibrous roots in there. But it doesn't take long to show you this is what would happen if we ploughed it. Smearing the tractor wheels, it's just plasticine, and it doesn't take very much, as you see. You can soon fold it into a C, and it just doesn't break. Doesn't matter what shape you make it into. So there's not a lot of sand in this. It is very clay. But having said that, if I can get the seed bed, this will out yield anything. The seed rate, as it happens in this field, is a bit less. I put about 160 kilograms in this field. I don't really want much more on this because once this does get going, it really tills out and gets such a strong crop. So yeah, not the best of soil, brilliant wheat ground. Same thing, lovely tilled area, it's done well. The amount of worms in here is just incredible. It really is incredible. And as I say, where we haven't driven over the wheels, we really are getting a lovely crumb to that, even though it's so wet. That's the bit that, very good, very pleased, very even and green all over. Good. Same with this field, we drilled this field last week in September, again it's the 15th October, looking great. This is probably the lightest field on the farm, but it's not a problem. Light or heavy fields, it's equal. We see it's still lovely greenness, beautiful rows. The volunteer rape's going. There's a massive amount of worms there. I know I'll keep going, but it's just great to see. The size of a slow worm that one is. This field is much lighter. As I say, we can't it's just a crumb. We can't mould it too much. But it's draining well. It's looking good. Really set up for the winter now. I can't say I'll be back to this until the spring.